Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of Fan Talk, your favorite podcast by your favorite fan. That is, of course, me, Kyle Brinchley, in the house on this Tuesday. Welcome to Fan Talk. Fan Talk's a podcast by the fans, for the fans. And we're talking everything a fan wants to talk about. Specifically today, we are talking about the NBA Play-In Tournament. That starts today. Exciting times for the NBA. We'll also talk about how this one golfer won the Masters back-to-back and how each year looked just a little bit different. This and more here on Fan Talk. Fan Talk's a podcast that you can find anywhere you get your podcast. I also upload on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. We have the candle burning. We have the Rogue One posters going up. I was asked, why do I mention the Rogue One posters? I did it like 3 years ago in the early days of this podcast, and I've just continued to do it. It's one of those things. I have not seen the new Disney Plus show, Maul, Shadow Lord. It's like a show about Darth Maul after he survives the Phantom Menace and after he survives the Clone Wars. Anyways, I've heard great things. I still need to check it out. And if you like the show, no spoilers, but comment down below. I definitely am going to, but I just have not got to it yet. But those are why the Rogue One posters are up. I always have a candle burning. You can see the Phantom of the Opera mask in the background. But we are ready to get going here at Fan Talk. We have so much to talk about today. We're talking NBA today. Now, I did a full episode on this about a year ago, so go check that out, explaining the NBA Play-In Tournament. Simply put, the NBA has implemented this new Play-In Tournament to determine which four teams get the final two spots in the NBA playoffs. Now, if you don't know what the NBA playoffs are, the top 8 teams in each conference, the league is split into 2 conferences, the Western and Eastern Conference. The top 8 teams make the playoffs and play each other. To make it more competitive in previous years, they've added the play-in tournament, so teams 7, 8, 9, and 10 all fight for the 7 and 8 seed. Again, a full episode breaking down what the play-in tournament is linked in the description. Go check it out. This year, the play-in tournament starts tonight. Today is Tuesday, April 14th. And we have some new faces in this play-in tournament. In the Eastern Conference, Philadelphia 76ers, the Orlando Magic, the Charlotte Hornets, and the Miami Heat. In the Western Conference, we have the Phoenix Suns, Portland Trailblazers, LA Clippers, and Golden State Warriors. It's been a while since the Trailblazers have been in the playoffs, and it's been a while since the Charlotte Hornets have been in the playoffs. Again, these 4 teams are fighting for 2 spots. So tonight, the Heat will play the Hornets. This is the 9th and 10th place game. How it works is the winner of this game will move on to play the loser of the 7 and 8 seed game. And then the loser of this game just goes home. So the 7 and 8 seed do have an advantage. The winner of that game makes the playoffs. The loser has to play the winner of the 9-10 game. So tonight, the Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets playing in the East 9-10 game. And then later tonight, the Trailblazers and the Suns playing in the 7-8 game. This is very interesting because, as I mentioned before, the Charlotte Hornets have not made the postseason in years. They made the play-in tournament about 4 years ago, but lost, did not advance. But they have not been in the playoffs for many years, and this is an opportunity for them to do that. Now, the reason why I say it's so interesting, because the Charlotte Hornets have been bad. They have been the bottom of the barrel the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And they've finally got out of that rut of being a sucky team that just tanks every year for good picks, and now they're in the play-in tournament. There is hope for the teams that are tanking, and it is very relevant to listeners here in the 801, fans of the Utah Jazz. Similar thing. The last 4 seasons have been absolutely tank seasons where they win 20 games and try to lose games to get a better draft pick. And I've mentioned this before, it's not good for the fans, it's not good for the players, it's not good for the product on the court. Tanking has been a huge problem this year. I did another video on that, go check that out. But there is the light at the end of the tunnel, and this is why teams do it. This is one reason why I can see, I don't know if the benefit is the right word, but I can see the decision to tank, because you get draft picks if you hit. Then you can add veteran players. You can bring in superstars to pair with these young players, build a young core, and eventually do what the Charlotte Hornets did and pull themselves out of obscurity back into the realm of relevancy. So again, they're fighting with the Miami Heat, who are low-key also in a rebuild. Not entirely. They've kept Bam Adebayo, they've kept Tyler Hero, but they got rid of a lot of their core players, like the Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love, these guys that were part of the team a couple years ago when they made the finals run in 2023. Those guys are gone. They've kind of restarted, but not in the traditional tanking restart. So very interesting. Two teams that have kind of rebuilt themselves and are facing off for a chance to make the NBA playoffs. Trailblazers and Suns. Trailblazers are a very fascinating team because similar thing. They weren't bottom of the barrel, but they got rid of Damian Lillard. He's back now, but they essentially sold the farm a couple years ago. They got rid of Damian Lillard. They got rid of some of their other core players, built around these young guys. Drafted a few guys. Damian Lillard is back. He hasn't played all year. He is still injured. But they've worked their way up to make the West play-in game against the Phoenix Suns, who, again, like the Heat, didn't do a full rebuild, but got rid of Kevin Durant, got rid of Bradley Beal, got rid of Chris Paul, got rid of some of these other guys, and have been rolling with Devin Booker and some of these new core pieces, and they have made the play-in game. So it should be very fascinating. Go check out some NBA play-in tournament. This might be the best basketball you see in the NBA postseason. I mentioned before, the NBA is kind of a weird product right now that I'm not very happy with. The regular season is very hard to watch. Playoffs, I'm hoping, are better. I'm hoping there's some good games. I'm hoping there's some good series. I'm hoping that it's not what the regular season is. And it shouldn't be, because all the fluff is gone. All the teams that are trying to lose is gone. These teams are trying to win, so it should be a lot better. Tomorrow night on Wednesday, Magic 76ers for the 7-8 in the East, and Warriors Clippers 9-10 in the West. Warriors barely sneaking in because every other team in the West was tanking. Warriors not as good this year. I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors lose this game. They somehow get that lottery pick. I just see it happening. Warriors or Bucks. That's my call. Warriors or Bucks are going to get that lottery pick, even though all these other teams like the Jazz, the Wizards, the Pacers, the Nets, the Kings, all these teams were purposely losing games, and they have the statistically best chance. I don't know. I'm a doubter, but let's see. Anyways, NBA play-in tournament, super fun. Again, go watch that video. I explain it more, but it should be a super fun time, and hopefully is a segue into a good product that will be the 2026 NBA playoffs. If I were a betting man, and I am, Oklahoma City Thunder looking like the best team out there when they're healthy. Of course, they won it last year, the best record in the NBA. I think they're my favorites in the West, though I am hoping the Denver Nuggets or the San Antonio Spurs can knock them off. That would be superb. I'm looking at the Pistons and the Celtics in the East. I think they are far, far ahead of any other team. The Knicks are the Knicks. They're going to choke. Cleveland Cavaliers, they've had some experience. I just don't know if they're good enough. Raptors are a fun team to watch. Same with the Hawks. Could be a fun NBA playoffs. I'm hoping for it. But look for the Pistons, Celtics, Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets. Those five teams, one of those five teams is going to win the NBA Finals. Let me know who you think has a good shot at winning the NBA Finals down below. And happy watching. All right, guys, let's shift our focus from the NBA to golf. And I talk about golf maybe twice a year here on this podcast, but it's the Masters. You have to mention it, and you have to mention how crazy it was this year. Rory McIlroy, who won it last year, of course, had a huge lead, a 6-stroke lead. Now, if you don't know anything about golf, the lower your score, the better. So you want to score in the negative. And the way you get into the negative is each hole on the course has a par number. So that means how many strokes it should take you from the start of the hole to getting the ball in the hole. So a lot of courses have like par 4s, par 3s, sometimes par 5s, but usually on professional courses, it's a par 3, 4, and sometimes a 5. You usually don't see anything higher than a 5. You usually don't see anything lower than a 3. In order to get a lower score on a par 4 course that expects you to hit the ball in with 4 strokes, you hit the ball in with 3 strokes. That means you're 1 stroke under par. So you get a -1 for that hole. And then you continue on and continue on. An average person like me or you, our final score is going to be way in the positive because we're not going to hit par most of the time. Those of you who do play golf probably hit par more so often. and are ecstatic when you guys hit a birdie or get under par, But these professional guys, they are always under par. They play 18 holes. They play multiple days. The Masters is 4 days long, so they play multiple days. So Rory McIlroy had a 6-stroke lead. So the next guy behind him had essentially a mountain to climb to catch up with him. But the reason they play 4 days is to give an opportunity for drama like this to happen. Because if they just played one 18-hole, you could have a bad 18-hole. You could have a really good 18-hole the next day. And it makes it very interesting. Rory McIlroy had a 6-stroke lead. He blew that lead on Saturday. He was actually caught by a couple other golfers. Scotty Scheffler worked his way back up. Justin Rose got up there in the conversation. He blew that lead. He eventually won it back and had a 2-stroke lead going into the final holes, the 16 hole, the 17 hole. But ultimately, Scotty Scheffler could not catch Rory McIlroy. No one else could catch him. And Rory McIlroy wins the Masters back-to-back years. First golfer to do that since Tiger Woods did that many years ago. This is, I don't know where this ranks on like hardest accomplishments. Golf's already a terribly hard sport. But to win the Masters back-to-back years, where does that fit? Is that harder than winning the Super Bowl back-to-back years? Is that harder than winning the World Series back-to-back years? Is that harder than winning the NHL, Stanley Cup, the NBA Finals? Where does that rank? Let me know what you guys think down below. I think it's an incredible feat. I think since it's a one-man game, essentially, there's a lot less that could go wrong. When you play team sports, there's just so many other variables, right? But golf, such a mental game. To win it back-to-back years, huge accomplishment for Rory McIlroy. Congrats to him. He gets to keep the green jacket for another year. Can he three-peat? That will be absolutely crazy if he can. But that is a wrap on the Masters 2020, the NBA play-in tournament. It will be starting tonight. Go watch it for the next couple of days. The official NBA playoffs start this Saturday. NHL playoffs also start this weekend. So a lot of fun things going on here in the sports world. Baseball's in full swing. The World Cup's only 2 months away. We're super excited here at Fan Talk, and we're so grateful for you tuning in today. If you liked what you heard, please like, subscribe, comment down below. If you're listening on Spotify, please leave a rating. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next week for another edition of Fan Talk.